The next 10 minutes or so, as the music plays, we invite you to just relax. Close your eyes, rest in the presence, and hold space.
Namo Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamari. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamari. Namo
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online Satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that means literally community of truth. It refers to a time where two or more people on the spiritual path come together to share their journeys, to share their presence, to share their victories and their struggles. And when we do that, when we join together with others who are awakening, whose hearts are flowering, it strengthens all of us exponentially. So we're so glad you're here tonight. We share throughout the webcast Satsangs the flowering heart blessing, Hridaya Vikasa Diksha, which is Sanskrit for flowering heart blessing. And the flowering heart blessing is a direct transmission of divine awakened consciousness, unconditional love, grace, light, and love. And it's a gift from the divine. We don't charge for it. When you receive one of these blessings, you're fully activated and initiated to be able to share it with others. And you're soaking in it right now, incidentally. So if you connect with this energy and this space that we hold here, just invite the divine to pour the flowering heart blessing through you and join us in holding the intention to send the blessing to everyone who joins us in the live satsang tonight and everyone who views this video or listens to the audio of this at any time in the future. The flowering heart blessing is a transmission of spirit, and so it's unbounded by time or space. Whenever someone connects with this recording, it is here and it is now, and they receive the same blessing that we do. So, please join us. Any other announcements we have? Give us a like or a love if you're on Facebook. There's also the kissing face, and there are other emojis. Just pick one. And we like to go in at the end and go in during the week between one Monday and the next and see the names of the people who have tuned in and watched and participated in the satsang. We send you special hugs and blessings. If you're on Vimeo, you need to just enter in the chat, "Hi, it's me," your name, and we'll send you blessings too. This is also on YouTube and LinkedIn, but there's not a convenient way, I think, for you to respond in the same way you can do in Facebook or Vimeo. So, well, okay. We like to open it to questions and answers on the spiritual journey. I see that Tristan's got a head start, but we want to give everybody a chance. So while you ask inside, if there's a question you might ask that would contribute to the discussion tonight, if there's something about spirituality or your journey where you'd like more clarity, more light and understanding, ask your question. It will help all of us. And if by chance Suzanne and I don't know the answer, it moves the divine to pour inspiration into and through us to you. And so you can ask the hard ones if you want, and we'll do our best to answer them. But while you ask inside if there's something you could contribute to the discussion in the form of a question tonight, I'm going to read you, it was a hard choice, but I decided, well, we read these quotes and little articles from inspiringquotes.com, where a group of authors writes timely little articles on relevant subjects and then shares quotes from influential people throughout history that shed light on the subject. Tonight, I guess I'm being a little bit selfish here. We're going to read an article, 13 quotes on the joy of being a grandparent. But hey, you had grandparents, so you might be able to relate to this even if you aren't one. This was written by Joyce Chen. We share a lot of her stuff. We like Joyce. She's a writer, editor, and community builder based in Seattle, Washington. So thanks again, Joyce. Here's what she says. Parents spend their days attuned to their children in a dozen different ways, raising them to establish good manners, communicate clearly, and build good habits that will serve them well throughout life. Grandparents, on the other hand, have already raised their children and are no longer responsible for making sure everyone eats well and turns in their homework on time. Instead, they get to embrace the simple fun of just being with their grandkids. Perhaps this is why grandparents are so universally adored by children as co-conspirators. Mom might never allow a second scoop of ice cream, but Grandma can load up the bowl, top it off with whipped cream, and add some sprinkles to boot. In a way, being a grandparent is a kind of time travel, a way to spend a few hours with a young person who reminds me of your own child, but who is different and unique in their own way. In honor of this special relationship, we've collected the following quotes about grandparents in all their wisdom and humor. So let's dive in. The very old and the very young have something in common that makes it right that they should be left alone together. Dawn and sunset see stars shining in a blue sky, but morning and midday and afternoon do not, poor things. Elizabeth Googe, author. Kids are hard. They drive you crazy and break your heart, whereas grandchildren make you feel great about life and yourself and your ability to love someone unconditionally. Finally, after all these years. Anne Lamott, author. Grandparents are extremely rich folks with silver in their hair and gold in their hearts. Mamour Mustafa, entrepreneur. Becoming a grandparent is wonderful. One moment, you're just a mother. The next, you are all wise and prehistoric. Pam Brown, poet. When a grandparent enters the door, discipline flies out the window. Ogden Nash, poet. Nobody can do for little children what grandparents do. Grandparents sort of sprinkle stardust over the lives of little children. Alex Haley, author. Truth be told, being a grandma is as close as we ever get to perfection. The ultimate warm, sticky bun with plump raisins and nuts. Clouds 9, 10, and 11. Berna Nelson Pastor, writer and editor. Because grandparents are usually free to love and guide and befriend the young without having to take daily responsibility for them, they can often reach out past pride and fear of failure and close the space between generations. Jimmy Carter. If becoming a grandmother was only a matter of choice, I should advise every one of you straight away to become one. There is no fun for old people like it. Hannah Whitall Smith, author and speaker. No one who has not known that inestimable privilege can possibly realize what good fortune it is to grow up in a home where there are grandparents. Suzanne La Follette, journalist. Our grandchildren accept us for ourselves without rebuke or effort to change us, as no one in our entire lives has ever done, not our parents, siblings, spouses, friends, and hardly ever our own grown children. Ruth Good, writer. He said, the best babysitters, of course, are the baby's grandparents. You feel completely comfortable in trusting your baby to them for long periods, which is why most grandparents flee to Florida. Dave Barry, humor columnist. Oh my. I thought a couple of those would hit your funny bone.
Yeah, they're funny.
Especially the last one.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to our questions. Okay. Tristan left a couple questions and said he'll watch it tomorrow morning, so I don't have to be too careful about my answers, I guess. Okay, Tristan. My first question. When someone who has no fundamentals about spirituality, how can I give my blessings effectively? This person is depressed and is anti-Bible. Prayers for Pega and her son, Wolf. Well, you can give your blessing, the flowering heart blessing, to someone who has no fundamental spirituality, the same way you would give your blessing to a master. Because it's God who's actually giving the blessing. The flowering heart blessing, we're just serving as instruments. We hold an intention, but it's God who pours the grace and the blessing through us to the receiver. So it's absolutely the same. And one of the beautiful things about the flowering heart blessing is that it tends to awaken spirituality in people who have none. People feel the tangible presence of the divine. That came up in our book club yesterday, which is kind of interesting. One of the participants in our book club has his own centering prayer group, and he said he asked the members of his centering prayer community if they felt the divine presence, and everyone did, and he asked them, could you please describe to me what the divine presence feels like? And you could probably imagine it defied words in most cases, and everyone had their own unique experience, and yet they were sure that they were experiencing the divine presence. But there was no uniform answer. That was fun. So the flowering heart blessing is all about awakening the connection in the spiritual heart with the divine within. And once that is activated and begins to flower inside of someone, they begin to experience something that really is hard to put into words, but it is tangible. So give your friend the same blessing you would give someone else, and don't hold any prejudices. You want to add to that?
Just, people are more receptive too if they ask something like, where is this coming from? Or, we tend to, with people that aren't religious or spiritually minded, use words like from the divine or from source or from
the light.
The light, yeah, something that's neutral and doesn't have a big charge behind it.
Good point. It's sad, but in so many groups, I try to read the room early on, and I send out some sonar blips and little comments I make. And if I get a bounce back that the G word is going to cause problems, the God word, I'll just shift into the divine or source or ground of being. I mean, there's some really neutral terms to describe the divine presence, like ground of being or void or the Tao, things that you can't even be defined. And you said that this person is depressed. Flowering Heart Blessing will definitely help them. The Flowering Heart Blessing raises people's spirits. It creates a sort of lightness of being. And that's the opposite of depression. So it's the best antidepressive on the market. And it's free. It's not habit forming. You mentioned that she is anti-Bible. So we give the Flowering Heart Blessing to pagans who have no particular love for the Bible. Some of the most amazing spiritual people I interact with are Muslims who have their own holy book, the Quran. Some Muslims really do appreciate the Bible. I got to be careful what I say. Last week, I mentioned how Jesus was critical of the religious leaders of his day, and someone watching thought maybe I was anti-Semitic. No. And so I don't want people to think that I'm anti-Islamic Semitic either, because I'm not. I'm just flat not. And some of the people that I love, that I work with, that I mentor spiritually, are Muslim. And sometimes they have a nice relationship with the Bible, and some people don't even realize that Muslims believe in Jesus. They have to. It's part of the religion. He's in the Quran. He's part of the coming of the kingdom of God, that they believe that Christ will return to this planet. I don't know if people really realize that. We're so close. All the Abrahamic faiths, they're the most problematic, I think, on the planet. Jews, Christians, and Muslims. So if I'm firing barbs, it's in all three directions simultaneously and at myself, because I'm a mystical Christian. But no, it doesn't matter that she doesn't believe in the Bible. Why should she? Belief in the Bible, I think, comes when the experience of what the Bible talks about starts to come alive. And should you be fortunate, you might be exposed to a scripture that just is vibrant and leaps off the page and resonates in your heart. And you go, oh, wow, these words are pretty special. But it's not an obstacle, so don't worry about it. And yes, we will offer special intentions in prayer for Pega and her son, Wolf. Tristan's second question. Do enlightened people do things differently in the mundane, busy world? Are the qualities different? How should I know? No, but, do enlightened people chew and swallow the same way as unenlightened people? I assume. I used to wonder when I was young, and with this vibrant faith in Jesus as the Son of God and the incarnation of the Christ, did he go to the bathroom like the rest of us? Did he wipe differently? I mean, come on. So, no, enlightened people do the same things, but you caught it. They do them differently. You see. You said, are the qualities different? Yes. And to sort of point that out, I've often quoted the Zen proverb: before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. Difference being, there's not some resistant ego that's struggling. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. This is hard work. I keep looking at my watch. I've got another hour, then I get off. It's the awakened being is in the flow of simply being. And in Taoism, and the Buddhists picked it up as well in China, there's a word wu wei. Wu means not, and wei, not doing. It means there's no ego-driven effort involved in the activity. It doesn't mean nothing's happening. It means everything is happening, but nobody's trying to control it, which I think is a huge difference. So there's the enlightened master chopping wood and carrying water, but he's having a much better time. because he's not grumbling in resistance, he's actually enjoying the process. People think before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. After enlightenment, they set you on a peacock throne. And they seek you from all around. And they bow down to you and lay presents at your feet. Actually, enlightened beings are more likely to get martyred. It happened to Jesus. Oh, it happened to Buddha. A lot of people don't know he was poisoned. Happened to Gandhi. Happened to, well, you name the great luminaries. And oftentimes they were martyred, crucified. And so the idea that life is just going to be a piece of cake once you're awakened is silly. It's getting more that way, I think, because 2,000 years ago, when a Christ emerged on this planet, he stood out like a sore thumb. His light just shined above the heads of all the masses, so he was an easy target. At the time of Buddha, he was the one. His name just meant awake. I'm awake. Nobody else was. So he stood out like a sore thumb. And so it is with the light givers historically. But now we're in a time where so many people are awakened or in the process of awakening that if you wanted to try to take them out, you wouldn't know where to begin. There are just too many of them. But that's a great question. Do enlightened people do things differently in the mundane, busy world? Yes, they do. They do the same things, but they do them differently from a place of no self, from a place of selfless service and giving. And I love something that I read today, so I'm going to share it. Kristen's letter.
Oh, can I just add
Sure.
to what you're saying?
That's why I was throwing it out there.
Yeah. I would think too, like Michael posed the question, do they chew and swallow the same? If you're not caught up in your mind or thinking about what you just did or what you've got to do after you eat, you would feel the sensations of the food more, and the smell and the texture and the spices. And same thing with anything else. If you're chopping wood and carrying water, you're feeling the vibration of the axe hitting the wood and the wood splitting instead of just going, oh, I gotta, so it's just being more present and more aware of the senses of what you're experiencing.
We have a sister spiritual center, Flowering Heart Center, actually, in Illinois. And the spiritual directors and founders, Kristen and Frank Panic, are dear friends. And I get their newsletter, and this one stood out. And in the subject line, it said, when your ego becomes an art form. And okay, I gotta see what she's talking about, because I've heard the question many times, is ego always negative? And the answer is usually yes, and you don't need to have an ego in order to thrive in business, to thrive in a competitive world. You're coming from passion, you're coming from the passion to create and to share without the self-protective ego. But listen to what I assume, I'm not sure, I think Kristen probably wrote this because it sounds a lot like her. So here it goes. Trying to transcend your ego? Make it an art form instead. You're trained to go out and get what you want, to shape reality to your will. This creates so much stress and can cause immune system issues. In the spiritual domain, you may recognize this issue and try to transcend the ego instead. Transcendence is not something you achieve. What if you could relax, listen inside, and even enjoy the ego? This is the path of artfulness. It starts with embracing the ego and using it in service to your higher purpose. As you start that journey, you might feel yourself becoming more alive, navigating the material world with more ease. Your ego becomes as art form. It's designed to draw attention, to sell, to manifest. It's magnetic, powerful, and unapologetic when you stop forcing outcomes. Your ego doesn't have to disappear for something real to move through you. It needs to become so authentic, so aligned with what you authentically care about, that it stops trying to prove anything. Isn't that cool? So, what are you going to do between now and enlightenment? Let's see. This morning I had to chop wood and carry water. Didn't like it. Enlightenment, you know, that journey to whatever that is, to awakening, which is an endless journey because it's not a destination. What are you going to do in the meantime? Well, you could use the ego, ride it home. Like in the Zen ox herding pictures, the young monk comes face to face with the bull, and it tames the bull and rides it home. And so that's what can be done with the mind in a more constructive way. I like that a lot. So
I do too.
thank you, Kristen. Okay. Michael Christopher writes, went to a process this weekend. When we focused on sadness, it was supposed to focus on mom and dad, but I went to God. The thought, why am I not good enough, God, came up. Then I broke down. Didn't get the time to go through all the feelings. Think it was a deeper wound. Not sure what to do next. Well, you got halfway there. I mean, God, working with God is like healing any relationship, except it isn't with mom or dad, it's with mom and dad, the heavenly. And in the relationship process, you know, and with the additions that we've made in the Flowering Heart community in recent years with additional light, we started by describing the process. Here's a dysfunctional relationship. Here's what it looks like. Here's how it's impacting me. Here's how this person is being for me. And then we bring that person right before us, before our mind's eye, with our eyes closed and our hearts open, and we talk to them about why is it this way? Explain to me how I'm feeling, why this relationship is causing me to feel this way. And that's half of it. Expressing what you might not have ever been able to say. People are afraid to talk to God. You know, that's one reason prayer suffers. That's why they ask saints to pray for them or holy people to pray for them, because we're kind of afraid we don't know how to talk to this person. And we sure don't tell, typically, most people don't tell God when they're angry with God. They just stop believing and walk away and put up walls. But I mean, David, in the Hebrew scriptures, he told God how it was. He said, I almost lost my faith because the way of the Most High changed. Of course, he was wrong, but he was willing to take his hurt, his upset, and express it. Whereas normally we stuff it. We go, oh, I don't feel angry at God. How could I? I don't want to cuss God out. Of course not. I'm a good person. And then it all gets shoved under the carpet and it becomes a huge impediment in our relationship with the divine, one-on-one, the personal. So you got as far as coming to God with the thought, why aren't I good enough, God? Now you need to hear what God has to say back to you. We watched a movie which was really great. What was that called?
Last night?
The Overcomer, maybe?
Something like that.
Well, that was one that we watched, but this person told this young lady, and she just had a religious experience of opening her heart to the presence of the Christ. And this wise person said, take the book of Ephesians, read just the first 2 chapters of one epistle and write down or underline every place it tells you who you are, what you have, what you've received.
Promises.
By being connected with the divine. Well, I'm good enough. I have everything I need. I'm worthy. I'm righteous. I'm saved. I'm free. I mean, so it was all there for her. All these things she needed to see, this girl, about herself, that she wasn't getting. So if you will open your heart and listen to what God is saying to you in answer to, why am I not good enough, God? Why are things not working out in my life the way I want it to? Because I'm not good enough? Why am I not being blessed by you? Because I'm not good enough? I think you'd find the answer to be interesting. And you go, but I don't hear the voice of God. Well, there are a couple of things you can do about that. Use your imagination. What would the most perfect, loving, forgiving, selfless being in the whole universe, who loves you more than any other being in the entire universe, what could you imagine that God would say to you in answer to the question of, why am I not good enough? And it's interesting, you may think that's just my imagination, but that's where God can come in and use your imagination in a really cool way. Another thing you can do is what that girl did. You can take some of the sacred scriptures from your tradition and let them speak to you. I mean, if you're Hindu, let the Bhagavad Gita speak to you. If you're Jewish, let Moses, let David, let the prophets speak to you. If you're Christian, same thing. If you're Muslim, let the Quran speak to you. All these sacred scriptures of the great traditions, the Dhammapada, if you're Buddhist, have the Tao Te Ching, which we're using in our community now. All have beautiful things to say that liberate us and give us the word in a really pure way, the answers that the divine gives to these existential questions we ask. But I commend you for being brave enough and honest enough to go to God and say, why am I not good enough? And then, then you say you broke down and didn't get the time to go through all the feelings. Think it was a deeper wound, not sure what to do next. Keep going with that process.
Yeah.
And it very well may be a deeper wound. I mean, often our feelings about not being good enough get sort of played out. Poor God has to deal with it, but it very likely came from the adults who are raising us when we were very small children.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's okay. A lot of it comes from our upbringing and our programming of how we're supposed to get through life and be in life, and so, working on not only the relationship with God, but also the parents too, which I know you have done a lot of work on, but you need to get to the root of that core charge of, why am I not good enough? Because we're all good enough, but we just don't feel it because of our life experiences and our wounds, which is actually preventing us from being good enough.
Unless you're judging, that you think you should be perfect, and so none of us are, and we could be better. Okay, I'm honest. I'm a fairly decent person. I look at my wife, but I, in all humility, it's like I talk to people about the life review at the end of life, where many people experience, and some people believe we all experience, standing before the divine, and our whole life plays before us, and I often pose in that a dialogue where God says, after you've seen your whole life pass before your eyes, in the presence of God and the angels and all the divine enlightened beings, and God says, Michael, do you think you could have done better? Now, I could lie and say, no, I couldn't have done better. But we all know that because of choices we made, choices we didn't make, we could have made, that when all is said and done, we didn't do as good as we might have. Looking back at it, what if? But one of the most helpful truths I learned in India, and I'll keep repeating it, is that we did the best we could do in the state of consciousness we were in at the time. So we tend to judge ourselves, but the answer is, you couldn't have done better. But we want to say to God, yes, I could do better. And I think that's an honest view when we look at how we are now and our need to grow and to change and to be transformed. Yes, we need to grow and to change and be transformed. But are you good enough in this moment? You're the best you can be. And you're enough in the present moment. Sometimes people use that as a cop-out, like, I'm complete, I've got it all. And that seems kind of like spiritual pride to me on a certain level, to say, I couldn't be better, and yes, I'm good enough. No, I think we should all strive to become better and better and better. But in the present moment, we need to embrace ourselves with total acceptance and love, and give ourselves the kind of mercy and understanding that God gives us, which is unconditional. And always taking us from in this perfect imperfection of the present moment into future possibilities for more. Thank you for that question. Mm-hmm. I love the raw and naked stuff. And that's when we really start to grow, you know. When we ask those raw questions, and when we question our perception and go, could I be completely wrong? And it's like in every moment we're invited to let go of everything we think we've figured out and we're certain about, and be open with total innocence to reality. And so, commendations. I think that's it on the questions for tonight.
It's perfect timing.
It is indeed. So please, close your eyes. Close your eyes and invoke the presence. What does that mean? It means to welcome, invite, open yourself to the presence that you are constantly and always immersed in, but sometimes we're not aware. Sometimes we're so distracted. When we invoke the presence, we turn our awareness and our hearts to the presence of the divine, and we ask the presence to flood us, to flood the present moment with the light of the presence itself. And so as the music plays, please open yourself to the presence and begin to receive the flowering heart blessing. That gift of the divine that opens your awareness to your true inner connection with the divine source. This divine being who dwells in you is the fullness of the Godhead. It's a mystery. How could the full ocean of God's presence be inside of you and inside of me and inside of Suzanne at the same time? This presence yearns to take you in its loving embrace and hug you into oneness. At your deepest center, you are already truly one with the divine. You are an expression of the divine essence, expressing itself as you, through you. That reservoir within you contains all that exists, the entire being of God. How could you not be enough when you are at your deepest core one with it all? And this presence loves you just as you are. The divine is ready to love us and loves us unconditionally before we've even learned to love ourselves. Open up and receive the love that is pouring out to you now. It's pouring out from within your innermost being. Rivers, floods of living waters, of light. It's pouring down on you from above. Receive it. Drink it in. It's flooding you from every direction. Just relax and let it flood your being. Spirit, soul, body, relationships. The divine knows what you need before you do, and before you could ever ask. It is all powerful, all wise, all loving. It knows just how to transmit to you what will set you free. There's no distance between you and the divine. It's an illusion, a delusion of the mind, upheld by much bad religious teaching. You couldn't be away from God, for in God you live and move and have your being like a fish in the ocean. Receive. The divine will illuminate your spirit. This is true enlightenment. It will shine into your soul, into the realm of the mind and the emotions, and heal it and clear it. And flood your soul realm with divinely inspired thoughts, ideas, feelings, plans. Just keep receiving. Breathe it in. You don't need to beg or pray right now. Just receive. It will shine out into your physical body and dissolve dis-ease and pain and bring you healing from head to toe. Receive the healing grace of the divine presence. Heal your relationships and make them right. It will shine through your life into the outer world, catalyzing everyone who comes in contact with you, causing the process of awakening to begin to unfold within them just by coming close to you. Relax. Receive, breathe in, drink in the presence and the blessings that are flowing to you now. Imagine us, visualize us with your eyes closed, sitting in a circle together, and lift up your hands with your palms open, facing forward, facing the center of the circle. Let us all invite the divine to pour through every one of us the flowering heart blessing, to flood the entire circle as it flows through the circle to us, flooding us. And we invite you to place in the middle of our circle all your problems and cares. We'll put Peg and Wolf in the middle of the circle tonight. Whatever problem, issue you're facing, put it in the middle of the circle and leave it in the hands of the divine. As we hold the intention together for divine intervention in all of these affairs that we put in the middle of the circle tonight. Whoever you know who needs healing, family problems, relationship problems, need for abundance, physical healing, the yearning for the soul to be healed of its wounds. Leave it all in the middle of the circle, and we take a strong intention in agreement with you that God take up your problems for you. Release the weight. Let us all flood all of these problems and situations with the flowering heart blessing. Let us put the earth in the middle of our circle. The beautiful translucent blue planet. And let us ask the divine to heal this living planet. To heal the scars that have been inflicted over so many millennia. Largely through human activity. To heal, to flood with light every sentient being living on this planet. To melt from their hearts all fear with the light of love. To melt away anger, hatred, and violence. To flood the hearts of all living sentient beings on earth with the unspeakable, incomprehensible, unconditional love of the divine source. Peace to Africa, peace to Gaza, peace to the Middle East, peace to Eastern Europe and Asia, peace to the Americas, peace, peace, peace to all of planet Earth. An end to war. See it done and begin to offer gratitude and thanks in your heart to the Divine. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now you can relax your hands in your lap somewhere. When you're ready, open your eyes and begin to make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me. Just keep gazing at least one of our eyes as we dive into the light meditation. Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans of blessing and grace for you. It streams through every fiber of our being, especially through our eyes, the windows of the soul. As you keep gazing at one or more of our eyes, the light streams out through our eyes, in through your eyes, into your heart of hearts, causing the light of awakening and the fires of divine love to burn brighter and brighter and brighter within you. There's nothing for you to do but just receive. close your eyes now. Meditate with us for a few more minutes as the great center. Now keep meditating as long as it feels good to you. Or you could lie down in Shavasana. Shavasana is a yoga pose, the easiest of all. You lie somewhere comfortably on your back, with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides, with your palms open, turned upward, and just let yourself dissolve with gratitude in the presence. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Until we meet again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine within you, and we bow to you. Namaste.